So this would be an intraday trade that I took on the 26th of May this year. So as you can see, price is still pretty heavily bullish on the 4-hour time frame, but we are digging into a weekly order block, a weekly sell zone, which is bound to contain a lot of orders. In fact, we've already dug even deeper to this in around the earlier part of the year. So anyways, now recent structure. In fact, actually when I made the trade, this hadn't really appeared yet. So let me just backtrack to where exactly it was. It was around here. So we were actually just digging into it. To be honest, I made my decision of the 1 minute, so I didn't really have this at the back of my head when I made the trade. So I think the furthest that I went to that day was the 15-minute time frame. So let me just load it very quickly. Okay, so we are now on the 15-minute time frame, and so as you can see, I drew a lot of even lower time frame order blocks over here, basically the wicks that cause the break of structure to the downside. And let me just highlight it a bit more clearly using the highlighting tool, which I think is quite new. So as you can see, this is rather okay. Break of structure over here, and then break of structure over here. So the areas that saw the breaks would be over here and over here, and I think I found it on the 5-minute time frame, these red boxes over here, but essentially they turn out to be the wicks that cause the move to the downside. And also I had one over here as well, which was the break of structure over. It's been a while, so I think it's probably here that I considered a break of structure. And from this, I actually identified on the 1 minute that price action was heavily bearish, and I was looking for continuation sells. But at the same time, back, make it clearer. At the same time, I did notice that we did form a little bit of a retail double bottom on the 15-minute. And I did consider that price may want to pull back a little bit more into some of these red zones. So at a point in time, I believe we were just around here. We had just formed this double bottom over here, and I was looking to trade price all the way back up to one of those red zones, which on the 1 minute is a decent move, enough for me to take a trade with 2 to 3 pip stop loss and say 1 to 5 or 1 to 3 target. I wasn't the most disciplined or structured with this trade setup, meaning that I kind of had time to watch the charts because this was probably after work. So I did have time to watch the charts very closely and make my decisions on the spot. So if I go down to the 5-minute, I don't think I have 1 minute data at this point. I think I took my long somewhere around here, and then I saw that there was a lot of rejection once it reached this red, the lowest red box over here. So I must have bought around here, a lot of wicks over here, and I flipped short, which was my overall bias, and I kept on my shorts, and I believe I trailed using 1 minute structure. So that was probably the trade for me. And let me just go to my notebook to show you the 1 minute chart, which I do have a screenshot of. And this would be the 1 minute chart where I made my decision. So at this point in time, I already noticed, of course, bearing in mind that the 15-minute we formed a double bottom. Of course, if you trade institutional concepts or SMC, this would mean that there are a lot of stop orders over here, which means that it's caused the price to go down because there's a lot of liquidity there. And at the same time, we do expect some sort of continued bearish momentum. But looking at the most recent microstructure on the 1 minute chart, I did expect a pullback into either one of these 3 areas, and I had time to watch the charts because I finished the work around here. So I opened my charts and I was like, you know what, I think it's trade, I will place it even though it's not the most precise trade. I did see that there was support holding over here, basically a level being held over here, and it gave me enough confidence to want to place an instant execution trade over here, and over here. And then once I noticed that price had respected what price basically was holding up and showing me a pattern that indicated it was respecting very slight 1 minute uptrend, I actually added more over here. So probably not advisable because it's a bit unstructured, but I did notice over here once it reached this 1 minute order block. So I think earlier on I mentioned it was 5 minutes. I apologize, I think it was actually a 1 minute order block because it was based off a 1 minute candle. So once I was in the trade, I noticed that there was a lot of wicks over here, a lot of rejection, and it gave me enough reasoning alongside the bearish momentum on a 1 minute time frame, as well as my overarching understanding that we were reacting from a weekly zone, a weekly sell zone or order block that gave me enough reason to want to flip for at least a 1 minute scalp to one of my further targets below, which was based off the 15 minute. Once again, bearing in mind that right now we are on the 1 minute time frame. So I flipped short, and my final target for this intraday trade was this inside bar over here that caused a break of structure earlier to the left where my highlighter is pointing over here. So you can see there was an inside bar that precipitated the up move that caused the bullish break of structure that had not yet been mitigated. Of course, there was another one over here, so I might have also been monitoring, but I believe my final target was here. It was hit. I did trail my stops. I believe one structure broke over here. I think I trailed my stop loss around here, which is just above the high that made the low that broke the structure. Sorry, the previous low high before this 15 minute double bottom was broken. And yep, so that was my trade all the way back on 26 May. Now I'll just play price forward. Sorry. Okay. Yep, now I play price forward. And voila, we hit the target.